very excited to see this meeting go forward. Over to you, Aarti.
Thank you so much, Nure. In Meraki, especially when we talk about rumors and conspiracy, there is this one gentleman who always has to be the center of every discussion. And today, not just locally, but pandemically, he's joining us all the way from Oman to give his management book review. So I would invite Srini to go ahead and enlighten us with your knowledge on the book that you're going to review for the day.
Folks, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Can we have a big smile to begin with?
Yes.
Yay. Great. So this section is this section is called as management book review. But all these years, the number of books which I have done, none of them involved any management in it. The first time I'm going to do a management book review, which involves a lot of management stuff. Why I call so? I felt this book is a classic case study of a top-down approach. So before I introduce about the book, why I read this book in the first place, I was curious on how a government school in Delhi can perform better than a private school. Why would foreign delegates visit a government school in Delhi? And third, how can the infrastructure of a government school be better than the world-class schools across the globe? So these things made me quite curious. And when I came across this book named Shiksha by the Education Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia, I immediately grabbed it. Let me show you the book. Could you see the screen? I'm not sure if you could see this. The name of the book is Shiksha. This is a classic example of a top-down approach of any management decision, I would say. What is top-down approach? So usually, if there is a problem in my project, what our management, my company management does is they come to the employees who have done the work. They will be bashed, they will be blamed, and action will be taken on them. Whereas this book talks about where the problem needs to be addressed from. Who owns a government school? Could anybody answer? Government owns the government school, isn't it? Okay.
No, we are owning. We are owning.
We are owning, but not directly, indirectly, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in this case, so government took the first responsibility. So what they did, they came out with a very high budget to be spent on the government schools. They allocated 25% of their finance budget for education. That is the first thing they did. Then second thing they did is they came out with a proper vision for the schools, for the children. How children should be when they go out of school after 20 years of formal education. This is their vision. So they came out with a proper vision, and what they did is the entire education department, the education director, the education secretary, the the education minister, all of them attended 8-day workshop to understand what is going to be their vision and how they are going to proceed with. All of them were locked down in Lucknow, and they attended 8-day workshop. So this is what they begin with. They begin with these things. And next, they didn't approach the student. They went to work on the principal of the schools. So there were 1,025 principals in Delhi. There are 1,025 schools. So all of them, they were called in for a meeting and to understand what they feel. And surprisingly, they understood that none of them felt responsible for the school, and none of them had a good morale. They felt very low, and they are a minimum government employee. That is how they felt. So the government, the finance minister, what he did is he came out with the idea of giving more powers to the principal for them to feel they are the principal. They empowered them. So how they did it? they had given a lot of powers to them. They can recruit teachers, they can transfer teacher. If they want to recruit somebody as a freelance, a special training is required. All these things a principal can do. And principal need not to worry about the infrastructure of the school. Each school were appointed with a estate manager who will take care of how to work on the infrastructure of the school. And the third thing is, schools were dirty, toilets were filthy, and there were about 80 to 100 children per class. And the maximum of 174 children were there in single class in a government school. So the government estimated they need at least 30,000 classrooms more to catch up with a decent number of classrooms. So they started to work on the infrastructure, and they worked on the infrastructure of schools. They made it a point. Schools are so good and modern, because only then a lot of children who come from slum, who come from poor background, will have a better morale, and their inferiority complex will go down, is what they thought. Then they came out with working with teachers. So how they helped teachers? So teachers were involved. So everybody were become stakeholders for the school. How they could work on the syllabus they wanted to, and they could work on the supplementary material they wanted to. They were asked to refrain from doing unnecessary jobs which are not at all required to work on the children. So all these things were added to the teachers. In fact, every school has got a mentor, first time in the history of a government school. And finally, what they did is they worked with parents. So they created a school management committee. School management committee was available on paper, but what they did is they democratically elected 12 parents as the school management committee members. Along with that, the school principal had become the chairman of the school management committee. Then one social worker was included in the school management committee, a local MLA representative, and a teacher representative. All of them were made as school management committee. What do? They solve problems. They don't go wait for the education ministry to come and solve your problems. What they did? So for example, once a school found difficulty in finding a economics teacher. So what this management committee did, they spoke to Delhi University and got an economics professor to take classes for the school for 6 months as a freelance. So they came out with solutions to which doesn't take more time. So all these things gave a lot of results for the schools. First of all, the schools had become beautiful, and it has got world-class facilities. Next, all were involved, like starting from the principal, the teachers, parents, and finally the students. And this resulted in excellent results. For the last 4 years, Delhi government schools have more pass percentage than the private schools. And this resulted in UN's appreciation, and across the globe, a lot of leaders have come and visited the school as a case study. So some of the basic learnings for me from this book is, if you want to develop something, the first thing we need to start from the top. So if we have to sort a problem at the grassroots level, we need to start from the top. Then it will automatically solve the grassroots problem. That is one thing. Second thing, we need to empower people. So they empowered the principal, they empowered the teachers, they also empowered children by calling their parents for school parents-teachers meeting, and they empowered everybody in the system so that everybody performs well. This is second thing. The third thing is trust. So for example, Delhi schools principal had a maximum of 5,000 rupees budget for them. if they want to spend something on the school, the maximum they can spend is 5,000. So this was increased to 50,000. And when the finance people asked if the money could be misused, the finance minister told, if I can give the life of 2,000 children to one person, why wouldn't I spend 50,000? Why wouldn't I believe them for 50,000? So the trust which you give on people will get you good results. So these are some of the learnings for me from this book. And I said in the beginning, each one of you to give a big smile, isn't it? And I got a big smile when I completed this big book. It was quite fulfilling to read this book, and it was a proud moment indeed for any Indian who read this book. And it gives you a lot of management lessons. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Sri.